ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನು, ಸಂಗೀತಗಾರರನ್ನ, ಕಲಾವಿದರನ್ನು, ದೊಡ್ಡವರನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಆದರೆ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಇವರ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಅನನ್ಯ, ಅಪ್ರತಿಮ. There was no one like him. His heart was large enough to embrace the world. And with all that, he was an outsider, perpetual outsider. Everywhere he was an outsider. He was a literary person with the literary persons. He was a musician with the musicians. He was an artist with the artists. He was a multifaceted person, as you all know, because you're all his admirers, and enough has been said about him. He was a person who had great sensitivity. He was a very, very sensitive person. The rough exterior did not reveal the sensitiveness which I was on a few occasions experienced myself, and I was a bit taken aback that he reacted so sensitively to something. But I suppose unless you have that kind of sensitivity, you cannot be a great artist, and he was among the greatest. Kadayalli Rajiv, I think there was more of a spiritual dimension to his playing, because there was nothing he had to prove. There was nothing he had to show. I mean, he had reached the summit of music. And as Chandrana said, he has been Boswell to Rajiv in a way. He wanted to have mastery of a few ragas, because he used to say, what is this business of... even he used to make fun of his guru in this matter. Oh, we know so many things, he said. And this is another thing about him. With all his respect for the seniors, he could make fun of them also. And in one of his last concerts in Bangalore, after that I said, Rajiv, you are not playing for the audience. You were playing for yourself. I was playing for my guru, he said. Now I only play for my guru. He had reached that stage. I suppose when you talk of the spiritual dimension of music, this is it. When yourself becomes a negation, when yourself doesn't remain and you play only for your guru, that's the stage which he had reached. And just about 2 months ago, over the phone, I mean, he after he shifted to Mysore, our contact was largely over the phone, but occasionally I had gone to Mysore and seen him, and when his biography was to be released, he specially asked me to come to Mysore and release it. So Atara, whenever there was an occasion to go to Mysore and see him, it was there, but he was I should say, viraktaragidru from everything. And it's a pity that he was not given the recognition which was due to him. He lost his father at the age of 10, or vayasavaga 10 varsha, and after all, what can you remember about your father when you were 60 or 70 and something which happened 50, 60 years ago? But the kind of respect that he had for his father and his mother was something exemplary. And he had this, and he expressed it in so many words and on so many occasions that his father was also not given the due. And this was, of course, there, but not that he bothered about these things. He had gone beyond all this. When Pratibha read my article on him, she called me from Delhi, and we were talking about Rajiv not having been given the recognition. And I was, like everybody else, I was also a bit disappointed that Rajiv was given Padma Shri at this late stage, and that too Padma Shri only, whereas he should have been given Padma Vibhushan or Padma Bhushan. Both of us were discussing this, and then she said something which I think is very revealing. She said, she asked Kambar, who had recommended his name for Padma Shri, why he recommended it for Padma Shri and not for Padma Bhushan or Padma Vibhushan. And Kambar's reply, and that's a sad commentary on our situation, was he would not have been given a higher Prashasti because he's left of center. Now, what kind of a society have we become where somebody cannot be given his due because his views are left of center, or somebody right of center, whatever. But Rajiv was beyond all this. You give him Padma Shri, okay, he accepted it. I called him, I said, why? He said, how does it matter? If you give him, it doesn't matter. You don't give him, it doesn't matter. As I said, he had reached a stage where he was beyond all this. He was only playing for the Guru. And he was large-hearted enough to give of himself to anyone who came to him to get something from him, whether it was a disciple or a friend or someone. So many people have benefited from him, and that was something remarkable about him. And yet, as I said, he was a perpetual outsider. He didn't belong to any place. You couldn't identify him with North Karnataka or South Karnataka, though essentially at heart he was, I would say, Hyderabad Karnataki. Also, I think because of Khan Sahib's influence, that what we call the Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb in the north, the Indo-Islamic culture, he was very much a part of that. And one day he asked me, when he had shifted to Mysore, he said, I want to learn Persian and also improve my Urdu. Can you find me a teacher? I was looking for a Persian teacher in Mysore because there was one great scholar, but unfortunately he had passed on. And as you know, in India now, Persian is not a language which people are really concerned about. Sanskrit has taken over everything. And then one day he said, I want to learn Punjabi. Can you teach me? I said, Rajiv, gladly, but you are in Mysore, I am here. I mean, that just shows that he belonged to no place and he belonged to every place. That was Rajiv. And his sense of humor, absolutely delicious. Sitting with him was like, he was like a bottle of champagne uncorked and it would be bubbling. Rajiv in his conversations would just bubble. And there were no sacred cows. As I said, he could even make fun of the innocence of his guru, make fun of everybody. And especially he made fun of old Mysoreans for their kind of what he called stuffiness. And once he said, look at Kuvempu, the names that he gave to his children. Apparently, the full name of Puran Chandra Tejasvi was Chakora Chakori Puran Chandra Tejasvi. Chandru, you would know, isn't it? So he named his other children's names, and he said Kuvempu did not name his children, he sentenced them for life. And then, which I have mentioned in my article also, what is this business of acronyms, these abbreviations, Anakru, Kuvempu, Shri, so and so. And he said, I know somebody who is Huvina Hadagaliya Siddhappa Danappa. What would they call him? So this was the impish sense of humor he had. As I said, sitting with him was entertaining. Chandru said that I think you said that the atmosphere had become very serious, so let it be a little bit lighter. Rajiv was never serious like that. He was, as I said, he was like a fountain, bubbling, good humor, because there was goodness inside, and that goodness inside just bubbled out. And the respect which he had for people who had attained a certain greatness in life. One day he just dropped into my house and he said, come, let's go and call on Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay ji. Now, Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay, one of the greatest figures Karnataka has produced and one of the greatest Indians, I would say, lived a few houses down my house and I did not know it. And Rajiv took me to her, and that was the first time and last time also I met her. We spent some time with her because shortly after that she passed on. And the kind of respect, for example, he had for Gangubai ji, for Mallikarjun Mansoor, for people like that. I mean, you just heard what Chandru said, how he did Dandavat Pranama to MS. But MS was like a goddess when she used to sit on the dais. I mean, I was fortunate to have known the MS couple, Sadashivam and MS personally. In fact, you would be happy to know that I had persuaded them to shift to Bangalore. And Sadashivan had agreed. He said if the government allots us a site, we would shift to Bangalore. So I came and told Hegde Saab, who was the CM, I said, sir, allot a site to MS and she would come. And 2 days later, he resigned and MS never came to settle down in Mysore. But that is an aside. Hegde Saab had appointed him as cultural advisor to the government of Karnataka in the culture department. 1985, I took over as secretary ITY and Kannada and culture. And Rajiv was appointed as the cultural advisor. And that was the start of a glorious friendship. And I would call our friendship a glorious friendship because the moments I have spent with him are indelible. Elrugu gottide, I mean, everybody has great memories of Rajiv because his personality was such that once you have spent some time with him, you would cherish those moments and you would never forget him. Because his scholarship, his mastery of music, etc., 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 all that was there. But beyond that, beyond all his mastery of music, of literature, it was the person. And the person was goodness personified, and this goodness was there in every gesture. I think now, wherever he is, he would be playing Jugalbandi with his Ustad. Both of them would be happily playing Sarod in the Gandharva Loka. Rajiv, be happy. Just see how many admirers you have here, and you have left such beautiful memories. Your legacy will live on in your disciples, and of course, it's another matter that he has a larger number of disciples in America than in India. But that's it. The legacy will live on, and we shall cherish his memories. Now, again, I thank Pratibha, Prasiddha Foundation, and Kappana. On one call, I just told Kappana, I said, Kappana, we need to have a Shraddhanjali Samagama for Rajiv. And look, he got in touch with Pratibha and the Sahiti Mattu Kalavidra Vedike, and this is the result. As you were told earlier, it's not easy to organize meetings like this, especially at short notice, and especially on Sunday. All of you have come, so thank you very much, because it gives a very nice and warm feeling that for Rajiv, so many people have come from all over. It's wonderful. And again, Kappana, I salute you for organizing this. And Pratibha, you came from Delhi for this. Again, I salute you. Thank you very much, all of you, for being with us. Rajiv deserves it. Wherever he is, Rajiv, play your music. We are there.